Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to another episode of the Corona Spotlight 2020. I am your host, Gayle Nicholson. Thank you so much for joining us again today. Today I'm very excited because we had a bit of a snafu last week with this wonderful lady, and streams got crossed and everything worked out eventually, but I finally get to actually have her on the show. And for those of you who know her, she is like Girl Friday in everybody's businesses, handling stuff, making it work all the way around. So if you've never if you've never had a chance to see her before, am honored to introduce to you Miss Tamara Collins, social media brands expert of businessboldly.com. Thank you so much for joining us today, Tamara. How are you?
Yeah,
Or Tamara?
I'm great. Thanks for having me. I'm really excited.
Please correct me on how to say your name because I know, like in my head, it's Tamara, right?
Yes,
Yes. And then I
you're,
look at
you're
it and
right.
I go, Tamara.
You are 100% not the only one. Yeah, it's camera, but with the T is how I explain it to people.
Oh, very nice. I like that. I like that very much. I used to work with a lady by the name of Camilla, and I used to have to remember it's Pamela with a K. Yeah.
Right? Yeah,
So those
see, you did.
those mnemonic crutches
Mhm.
really helped me a lot. So thank you very much.
You're
You
welcome.
do just about freaking everything, don't you?
That is true. I am definitely not one to niche down. I've been working at it, but I guess back end work and kind of behind the scenes work is where I've decided to niche. It's
There you
just
go.
kind of a really large niche. So
Awesome, awesome. We were just talking a few minutes ago about shopping carts and payment pages and stuff like that, and you're like, "Yeah, no problem." I'm sitting over here for months going, "I don't even know where to start," you know. So your expertise is in high demand these days. How are you doing with the flow of work?
I do pretty decent. I think a lot of people right now are looking for ways to stretch their wings and they're looking for ways to expand. A lot of people are at home and kind of dabbling in new areas. And so figuring out where do I start and figuring out what do I need in order to do this has been really good for me. I'd love to help as many people as I can. So it's, hey, I think I'm going to build a membership site. I think I'm going to teach some courses. And so I've been pretty fortunate that I've come in contact with several people that are kind of looking to branch off from their 9 to 5s and have the time to do it right now.
Awesome. That is really awesome. Trust me, there's going to be a lot of people that will be reaching out to you very, very soon. So let me start with a couple of these questions that I want to ask you. I know there's so much for us to cover right now, right?
Yeah.
So let me begin with let's see here, consistency, right?
Yes.
Consistency is
Um,
it's so funny because I'll tell you a little bit of a story. Back when I was pregnant with my oldest daughter, who's now in her mid 30s, right? My brother said,
mhm.
"You'll be fine. Consistency is the key, right? Don't ever threaten something you're not willing to follow through on. And if you ever do threaten something, follow through on it, right?" Um,
Right.
so that's pretty much good advice across the board, wouldn't you say? What are your
I
thoughts?
want, I have 5 children, and so I 100% agree. Consistency is epic. It's the same in the business stuff, and a lot of what I do for people has to do with their social media and has to do with kind of their digital presence.
Mm-hmm.
And consistency is absolutely just kind of paramount because you can start to get some pretty good traction. People are tuning in, they're checking you out, they're on your feed all the time. You know how if you watch someone, you start to see them a little bit more and a little bit more, and
Mm-hmm.
then they pick up on that and you see all of their stuff because Facebook and the other social media platforms figure, oh, they're into that person. And so the more consistent you can stay, the higher your top of mind awareness is going to be for all of those people. And anyone who's done any type of business knows the top of mind, those top 5 companies that you think about when you think of something are really the ones that get, the bulk of the business. And they're the ones that get the referrals. They're the ones that get talked about. So you want to try and make sure you're consistent. People are seeing you, they're hearing your message, they know who you are. So that if you say, do I know anyone that's a business coach? Do I know anyone that does social media? You're the name that pops up every time. And you do that by staying consistent online.
Absolutely. Absolutely. As you were talking about that, what came to mind is RC Cola might be a better flavor to a lot of people, but Coke and Pepsi bombard us constantly, and that's what we ask for. In the South, you go into a restaurant and you ask for a Coke, not a pop, not a soda. You ask for a Coke, and they say, "What flavor?"
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Right.
Or, you say Coke and they're like, oh, we only have Pepsi products. It's synonymous with having a dark soda. And
Yes.
it's like they've done a really, really good job of being that person for a
Right.
lot of years.
Yeah. Absolutely. Now, what are these SWOT assessments that you do with companies? I've seen
So
that before. I don't know what it is.
a SWOT assessment is strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So when I was getting my MBA, the SWOT assessment was one of the things I really liked doing. And so for my thesis, I did a marketing SWOT assessment for the company I was trying to impress that I wanted to work for. And so I created this really detailed SWOT assessment. And I just kind of fell in love with the process. So what I've offered to people is kind of a mini SWOT assessment.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do a big deep dive, but for the most part, on my free calls, I go through, I look at everyone's social media platforms, their websites, their shopping carts, their brand identity, their bios, if everything links to where it's supposed to link. And then I lay it all out for them in a pretty even little chart. These are things you're doing great at. These are some things that you could do to be a little bit better. And then I give them kind of a tip sheet that says, start with these, 10 things.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to be a huge change in your business. My goal is to give them as many tiny nuggets as I can that will make a rapid shift so that, they're off to a better trajectory having spoken to me for free. And
That's
so it's a fun little exercise, I guess.
That's awesome. That's an extremely valuable little thing to lead with. And I want to encourage everyone who's listening or watching right now. You can go to Tamara's website, businessboldly.com, click on Get Assessment, and she will give you a free SWOT assessment of your business. And I mean, that is extremely valuable. I know there are other people who are that will look at your business, your online presence, your visibility, and they charge upwards of $250 for the time that it takes to actually assess where your strengths and weaknesses are, and give you feedback that could actually help. So this is a hugely valuable free offering. Take advantage of it, as you
Yeah,
will.
I didn't want to charge anyone for it. I know because I tend to work with a lot of brand new startups. And when you're first getting going, it can be really hard to pull together the money, let alone just to get a diagnostic. And
Mm-hmm.
so my goal in those diagnostics is to find a way to make you money really fast so that we can work together and so that, you
Excellent.
have the money to invest in yourself and into your business. So I
Yes.
look for those 5 things that are going to make the biggest difference the fastest every time.
That's wonderful. Now, I also know that you happen to manage virtual assistants. So you tell me a little bit more about that because there's a really good market right now for anybody who wants to become a virtual assistant from home. I mean, so many secretaries can't go into the office anymore, right? So tell
Mm-hmm.
me a little bit about that and how people might be able to get on your radar as somebody who could serve as a virtual assistant with some of the
Right.
companies you're already working with.
So the way that it normally works when I am managing VAs is, let's say you, Gayle,
Mm-hmm.
have a VA, you're rapidly expanding, and you don't want to spend all of your time saying, okay, I need you to do X, Y, and Z for my marketing. It's normally more of a virtual team system
Mm-hmm.
because I'm used to managing large marketing teams in my 9 to 5 job. It just is kind of a natural progression to delegate those marketing tasks and know what needs to be done. And so as one of my higher end services, I will run an entire marketing department. I will manage your VAs. You and I will talk once or twice a week and you say, I need this. And then I run and manage your kind of staff. I do know
Nice.
several VAs. I know several people that if you say, hey, I need this help, I can create those teams for you. I have probably 5 to 6 people right offhand if you're in need of an assistant.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, it's more managing the teams that you already have. Or if you've never had a virtual assistant and you're trying to figure it out, I'll kind of provide that marketing guidance to you with, you should have them doing these things. These are tasks you don't need to do that you should delegate to other people. Because a lot of us get stuck in that minutia and those kind of, I need to do, these 10 posts. I need to make sure I'm editing my video. None of that is stuff you need to do. You can hire out for that. You can have someone take those kind of repetitive, mundane tasks so that you can do the high level creatives. And that's what I help people to figure out and find the VA that's a good fit for them. Sometimes it's not the first one that you hire. Sometimes it's not the first person you're working with.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe they just need a little bit of help and assistance to know how to work with you properly. Yeah. And so that's a service that I provide for the marketing management.
Excellent, excellent. I imagine that you do serve a bit as a sort of a translator, if you will, as well between the two. Because as a business owner, I have this vision of what I want to have happen. And that doesn't necessarily always translate easily into the VA's language of how do I get this to show up the way the business owner thinks it's supposed to look.
Yes. And there is a whole lot of that kind of back end side of it. So it might be, I want my membership platform to have, these 8 sections in it. I want people to sign up for level 1 and 2, but not be able to access 3, 5, and 6. Mm-hmm. And you don't know how maybe to convey.
Looks like Tamara's frozen up at the moment, so we will continue on. Hopefully she'll be back here real fast. All right, but I've seen some of the work that Tamara has done with other companies as well. Oh, here we are. She's back now. Good.
So it's a little bit easier for me to say, I need you to go into WooCommerce and I need you to update a rolling cart so that they're able to add more products and have them check out. My business owner might not know what that means, but my VA is going to understand what it means.
Right. Right.
And
Perfect.
So articulating that's a little easier.
Awesome. So tell me a little bit about the thing that you are the most passionate about doing.
Oh, goodness. I really, like I said, I really like doing the SWOT assessments. But as far as actual work goes, I like creating chatbots and automations. Okay. That's probably the thing I'm most kind of geek into. Just because I think we all get really overwhelmed and we get inundated with, I need to do X, Y, and Z every single day, or how am I going to stay consistent like Tamara told me to and make sure that I'm posting on, 18 platforms and I'm available 24 hours a day so I don't miss a lead. And it's easy to feel like your business is a burden. And so I like making automations and systems for people that kind of lighten the load and make it easier to actually run your business as opposed to just being in your business all the time.
Yeah.
And there's so many different automation systems, like chatbots is just one of them. It just happens to be kind of the funnest because it's if then. And so you can create these whole long choose your own adventure sequences if you wanted to. But automations in general just tend to kind of be where I like to spend most of my time so that I can make things easier for the people I work with. That way, when they leave and they talk about me, they say, oh yeah, I started working with Tamara and it was like, everything was easier and I focused on my business. That's what I like making. And so for each person, their processes and their automation systems might look a little bit different. It all depends on the things that you like doing. Maybe you do like writing your social media for every platform 18 times a day. So yours might look a little different than someone else's who wants to be real hands off.
Right. Well, that begs a really good question, actually. How can businesses, you know, do their work and still be there, omnipresent, 24/7, and ready to chat and convert that question into a sale all the
Yeah.
time?
And I mean, that's really where the magic comes in. And that's kind of where I like to build these automations because it is really hard. Like, let's say you're a coach and you're running a group where you're constantly interacting in your group, you're running trainings, you're running meetings, and you don't have time to respond to every single person that sends you a "Hey, what's up?" on your business page. And so, maybe we create a chat bot for your business page where it answers those base questions. Hey, I'm Tamara. I build automation sequences. I do social media management. Are you interested in XYZ? And then the chatbot runs them through until we've kind of filtered that this is what they want, this is what they like. And you can give them that high level information before you really engage. It saves, hours a week in trying to get these prospects and leads. The same thing with, say, your social media posting. We are fortunate enough to live in a time where there's tons of technology
Mm-hmm.
and systems and automations, you name it, and there's 19 different social media planners. Buffer, Hootsuite, Crowdfire, Post My Plan, Post Planner. Yeah, Post Planner. And different sequences, even Direct Heroes. You can do chatbot support now for Instagram,
Wow.
which is a relatively new platform that is coming about and becoming a little more popular. And so setting up these tools to save you time is going to be the key to staying consistent, as well as being able to actually work your business, because they won't come to you until they hit, hey, I'm ready to sign up. And so utilizing the tools you have available and the technologies is really kind of that trigger tool.
Awesome. Awesome stuff. What do you foresee is the future after coronavirus quarantine is over? Do you
You know,
see us going back to these big box buildings with offices and cubicle farms, or do you see what we're doing right now kind of evolving and continuing?
I've been thinking about that pretty subtly because in marketing, you want to kind of track the trends so you can get ahead of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of us are going to realize, hey, I don't need to be in this box. I don't need to be at this cubicle. I don't need to be at my desk if I have a computer at my house. I think a lot of employers, especially if you are in that kind of 9 to 5 world, are going to realize my people can work from home. They're still getting as much done with a little more flexibility, and it's lowering my overhead. It's saving me money. And so I see the landscape for 9 to 5s changing the most drastically. And I see a lot more people right now. We have what, let's say 3 months, 4 months, 6 months. I mean, really, none of us know right now how long this is going to be,
Right.
but you're looking at least another 3 months, and a lot of people can get businesses off the ground in 90 days. There's
Oh yeah.
program after program, ad after ad, get your business in 90 days. And so right now, a lot of us have a very unique opportunity to do what we want to do, and we have the time to pursue it.
Yeah.
And so I think we're going to start to see a resurgence in small business because so many of us want to, even the big box stores, all the commercials you see on TV are support your local business, shop in your hometown, help people, the restaurant workers in your local community deliver,
Mm-hmm.
etc. And there's a huge resurgence in that. And I think that that's going to continue. And so it gives even those of us who do work online and work digitally that kind of leg up that people are wanting to shop small and they're wanting to shop local. They're wanting to stay little.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm hoping we continue on that trend and that we capitalize on this kind of new work landscape that's evolving throughout all of this.
Excellent. Yeah, I would tend to agree with you. As you were talking about that too, I was just thinking about how, um, yeah, I'm from Michigan originally, right? So
Mm,
you end up with this downtown area that has seen better days, and the urban sprawl or suburban sprawl out to the ring around the city, right? And now, there's less need to actually go into the city to work,
Right.
right? So more, I would imagine more buildings can be restored. More of entertainment district can be built out of it, whereas we in lifestyle would change to, yeah, we're all working from home, and then at 5 o'clock we all commute downtown to go have fun, you know,
Right.
a complete flip in the way of life. So who
Yeah, for
knows,
sure.
who
And I
knows.
definitely think this is going to be, in the long run, a good thing for entertainment, socializing, restaurants, because I know I cannot wait to get out of my house and actually have a beer with another person at a restaurant. Like, that's the first thing that I want to do. And I'm certain that I'm not the only person. And so I think that once we're actually able to meet with people and socialize, I think we're going to see a pretty solid bump in the entertainments and arts for a while.
I
And
certainly
so
hope
I
so.
think if you're in one of those industries now, you should really take advantage of this preparation phase. Like, how can I revamp my businesses? How can I change what I'm doing so that I'm prepared for when everyone's out of quarantine and ready to go to the bar at the same time? Like, how do you make this
Excellent
happen?
point. Excellent point. I was just thinking about it the other day because we were looking at, somebody was saying that the airplane prices were, you know, crazy good, and I'm like, okay, I want to see how crazy good. I thought they would
Mm-hmm.
be crazier gooder than I saw, but okay, you know, a third down is not bad. You know, that's awesome. And then I thought, oh my gosh, supply and demand, when the quarantine is over, I don't want to even think about what's going to happen to airfares and
That's
vacations. And you know, once people have a sense of, okay, we've got a green light, let's do this. Oh my.
that's that's true. I hadn't even thought about that, but I bet you that airline tickets are going to go way up. It's going to
Yeah.
get way expensive to travel for a bit.
Yeah. And I've
I
got a
wouldn't
couple
doubt.
of friends that are they are they set up travel for other people. What is that called?
Travel agents?
Thank you. I'm getting old. I'm getting quarantine brain. It's all Swiss cheese up there. Um,
I Yeah, that's real.
yeah, right.
Agree.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I think she's going to need one of those automated bots in
Mm.
place for when people are like, okay, they've given us the green light. You remember
Oh,
that
yeah.
vacation we canceled 3 months ago? Let's do this. Yeah.
And that's exactly the kind of stuff you would use a bot for, but that's 100%. She's going to be a busy gal for real.
Hmm.
For real.
Yeah. All right. So, let's see. What else can? Oh, you know what? I wanted to ask you. How are you dealing with? I mean, I know that your 9 to 5 is not what you're doing right now, right? You're
Right.
at home 24/7. Um,
Mhm.
do you have kids? I think you do. You have at least one. Yeah.
I have 5.
You have. That's right. You just told me that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So with 5 kids, and everything has seemed so peaceful behind you for this last half an hour. How do you make that work? How does that happen? I mean, you're such a busy lady.
I'm pretty fortunate. I have teenagers, and because I do a lot of these Zoom meetings and I do a lot of these kind of conferences and
Hmm.
have for a while, they're pretty accustomed to it. Like, I can hear my son pacing in the kitchen, kind of listening for when I'm done with this. And a little bit earlier, he was over here in this window. He was planting seeds outside. And so, I mean, they're I'm pretty blessed that I have teenagers who are responsible and considerate of other people's time and attention. But I think that throughout this whole thing, there's been a certain level of grace that we extend to each other. Like, the Late Show with Jimmy Fallon, great example.
Hmm.
He's been pre-recording it, or he's been recording it from his phone with his wife and his 2 children, and his kids are like climbing on him in the background, and they're interrupting. They want gummy worms, they want snacks, they want treats. And it just goes to show, it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter where you're at in your life, how much money you have, how big of a star you are.
Hmm.
Life is life, and we're all living the same thing. And so if my kids pop in the back of a meeting, or they'd stop and say, hey, can I have a snack? I'm not the only one dealing with that.
Hmm.
And so you see someone's 2-year-old in the background wanting to color or wanting to play, we all get it because we're all in the same boat.
Yeah.
And I'm just fortunate enough that my kids will give me an hour to an hour and a half of kind of quiet. It's not like this most of the time. Don't let's not
Well,
confuse anybody.
I've got all the space in the world for people's children, but I draw the line at the cat walking across the laptop.
I don't have any pets at all. I have a lizard and I
Oh,
have guinea
okay.
pigs, but I don't have any kind of large animals anymore.
Oh, I
I
have
don't have that.
I have a 90-pound Akita, so if she's anywhere near my keyboard, there's a problem. There's a real problem. Anyways, so do you have any final thoughts for our watchers and listeners today? Anything that you'd like to leave them with as
You
we
know,
go on about
I
our
was
day?
trying to think about that this morning before we started talking, like, okay, if she gives me a couple minutes, like, what do I really want to make sure people get? And so, like we talked about early on, I would love to give you a SWOT assessment and give each person their individual kind of 5 things that you should do. But, for all of us, there is a certain amount of kind of general practice that we should be doing for our businesses. If you're an online business and you're making the majority of your sales and your leads from social media, a few things you want to make sure, like we talked about, staying consistent.
Hmm.
If you need to utilize an automated posting service to do that for you, then do so. But you're going to want to be on Facebook once or twice a day, Instagram 2 to 3 times a day, Pinterest, if you're not on it, is one I highly recommend for people. And we can sit down and we can chit chat all about Pinterest, but it's up and coming. It's the second largest search engine in the world. You should be utilizing it. If you can't, keep your focus on hitting all 9 social media platforms every single day. Pick 3, the top 3 that you're going to find your client on. Not necessarily the top 3 you like to be on. For example, I am not a big Instagram fan, but it's growing. It's a constantly moving and evolving platform, and a lot of my ideal clients are on it. And so I spend a chunk of my day on Instagram because that's where I need to be right now. If you're catering to women, you should spend some time on Pinterest. So it's not necessarily about where you want to be, it's about where your client wants to be. And take 3 of them. If you can't do 9, do 3. If you can't do 3, do 2. If you can't do 2, do 1, but stay consistent, right?
Nice.
Are you utilizing groups and adding value to them? So I know for me, I'm in probably 120 groups. I want to support people that I know. And so I sign up for their groups. I sign up and I like their pages and whatnot. But I have probably 6 that I interact with routinely. And I go in once a day and I comment on people's stuff and I provide value, and I never sell. I don't pitch. I just provide value if I think I can. And these are things that you should be doing as a business owner also, because they'll see your name and they'll see, oh, Tamara always has something really smart to say. Maybe I should go check her stuff out and see what she's doing. And so it's a great way to start getting cold traffic and moving them into your warm audience by utilizing these groups. And then the last thing is really have a plan. You want to grow on purpose. And so when you're first getting started and this is my product, my ideal clients, 35 to 50-year-old women who are into X, Y, and Z. Where do I find them? Well, I'm going to find them on Facebook. I'm going to find them on moms groups. Maybe they're a soccer mom. Figure out where your person is and then have a plan about how you're going to get them. I'm going to write a blog once a week. I'm going to post on my social media 3 times. I'm going to do videos for this. And then really stay intentional in that. Because I think it's Tony Robbins. He said, what you focus on expands. When you track it, it grows, right? And so when you have a plan and you lay it out, you're able to see your progress notes and make changes if you're not getting there fast enough. Lastly, if you can't do it yourself, find someone that can help you do it. Find a mentor, find a coach, find an assistant, find someone like me. We're all over the place. So you don't have to do it by yourself. You can find someone that can help you to do these things and help you reach your goals. We're everywhere.
Awesome.
That was what I'm thinking about. Yeah.
Okay, great. Awesome. Well, I want to thank you very, very, very much for being with us here today. I know that what you offer is a great deal of value to many of the people who have been mentors to me. And I look forward to getting my own SWOT assessment from you, and also
Yeah.
having you do a little bit of back page work for me as well. Because, yeah, this is
Yeah, for
growing,
sure.
and I'd have to say it's probably because I've been consistently showing up every day on Facebook Live for the last 3 weeks at the same time every day.
Yeah,
So, there's your example, your proof of concept. Consistency
exactly.
works.
It's huge. It's huge. For real. I've been seeing your name more and more, and I'm excited. I'll do your swap for you this week, and you're gonna love it. It
Awesome.
doesn't take very long. It takes me about 48 hours to turn them around to you. So
Beautiful.
it's
All right.
not a big deal.
Fabulous. Thank you so much. And thank you again, Facebook, for tuning in. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and we'll see you soon. When you open yourself up to actual
Bye.
energy work, makes that recovery progress so much faster. That recovery is possible. You do not have to live as a victim until your last days. You have unbelievable strength, and I know that because you're still here. Do you want to create something completely unrecognizable with your life? I can show you how.